What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another set of online ranked games for Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And it's been about a week since I've uploaded anything, and that's because I was out of town for about 7 days, pretty much a week. So yeah, and I actually thought about maybe bringing all my stuff to record an episode while I was at the hotel, and I just didn't. It just would have been too much of a pain in the neck lugging everything around because I have a lot of stuff. You know, I mean, it's a lot of you have to take a lot of stuff to record, and it just would have been too much of a pain. So yeah, I just decided for that entire week I just wasn't gonna do anything. But yeah, it's about time that I uploaded another Quest to Cosmic. So here it is. And actually, before I get into some of the commentary, I wanted to bring up the topic of balancing. If you've watched FGTV, if you pay attention to FGTV, they recently uploaded episode number 3 of their suggested patch notes series, and it's just, if you haven't watched it, it's just like an hour-long video dedicated to talking about, you know, what characters need, what they don't need, and if there was ever a patch for Marvel in the future, and there probably won't be, this is the kind of stuff that Capcom is going to want to look at in terms of balancing. You know, there's a lot of they bring up a lot of good ideas, but it mostly turns into, like, you know, I don't like this, change it kind of stuff. And I don't know if that's the best way of looking at, you know, balancing Marvel. I was hoping that it would turn into, like, I was hoping they'd bring in maybe other games, talk about what, you know, what other games, what they do right, and, you know, how they sort of change characters to make them stronger or weaker, you know, how they did nerfs and stuff like that. But you know, they didn't really do that. I wanted them to bring up arguments, like really good arguments of why a character needs this or why a character needs this kind of change and stuff like that. It didn't really happen, but there's still a lot of really good, I think F-Champ and F-Champ, Magus, and Shady K? Yeah, them three. They bring up some pretty good stuff. And it's a fun topic to talk about. Because, yeah, I mean, I've recently, over the past, I would say 3 or 4 days, I thought a lot about what my characters need and what they don't need, and the kind of changes that would probably be better for balance, and it's really fun to think about. I think so far and I've wanted to talk about, I wanted to bring up I wanted to upload a response video for their suggested changes for my characters. So Chris, Morgan, and Magneto, every time they talked about one of them, I wanted to basically release a video talking about those changes and maybe arguing for or against them and bringing up suggestions of my own. And so far they've only talked about Chris, so I wanted to upload a video about their changes for Chris and stuff like that. So I was planning on doing that either today or tomorrow, and so you can expect that to happen. And yeah, again, it's probably not going to happen, but it's kind of a fun topic to talk about. So yeah, let's see what's been going on. I guess on the topic of what I'm doing with my team, I've actually started working on infinites, and I was a little unsure if I wanted to do that because I guess one of the programmers or the creator actually mentioned that they knew that infinites were in the game and that they were actually working on a fix for it. So I was a little unsure if I wanted to work on infinites just because of what they mentioned. But they're not going to change it. They're not going to take it out, so I might as well just get with it. And I've actually started working on Magneto infinites. I don't think I'm going to work on the Morgan infinites. They don't seem to be all that. They seem to be really hard and just not that rewarding, I would say. But the Magneto infinite is really easy to do, the corner version. So I wanted to work on getting that into my game. So I've been working on that a lot, and I have a couple of setups from every attacking direction, and yeah, I want to start working on them online because I want to get into my game. They seem really good. But all my setups basically require Chris to be dead, so you won't ever see. I don't think you'll ever see me use them while Chris is alive, because I'll start them off with Morgan and I'll tack into an infinite into Magneto. So yeah, but yeah, I'm sure you'll see them sometime in the future. I'll start working on them post haste, I guess. But yeah, we can go ahead and get into some of the commentary, and let's see this game. Oh man, I'm down to Magneto. Morgan died. I don't know if you saw what happened, but Morgan, anytime you see me ground dash with Morgan on wake up, that's me trying to go into a hyper, and that's exactly what happened there. I try to go into Shadow Servant to get Morgan out, or maybe into level 3 to get her to kill off a character, and I just don't do it. I just do a ground dash. It's so annoying when it happens, and it actually happens a lot. Oh man, and I hate it every time it happens. But yeah, I actually got the hit with Magneto to kill off Virgil and potentially win the game, but I dropped the combo. I'm always going for those what's that move called? The magnetic blast combos, and I think I need to stop doing that when I'm in X Factor level 3, because they're harder to do in X Factor level 3. And I really need to start going for the fly combos, because those are actually pretty easy to do. It's just it's just nature to me to want to go for those magnetic blast combos. So yeah, that's something that I need to change. But yeah, as we're in the next game, I'm up against Virgil again with Magneto. Little bit of deja vu right there, but let's see what happens in this matchup. Oh man, those whiff punishes are, I actually think online they're really risky to go for, mainly because if I don't time it, if I don't react instantly, Virgil, and if because Virgil's, they're always gonna go for the button, because I can't win any trade with going against Virgil with any of my characters. If I go for a whiff punish and I don't get it in time, and Virgil presses a button, Virgil's gonna win. Because he has the sword, he has the range, he has the priority, and he has the attack speed. And I really try to avoid whiff punishes unless I have unless I just go for it at the very beginning. I don't know, it's something that I really don't like doing online. Offline, yeah, I'm gonna whiff punish Virgil as much as I possibly can, mainly because I can react in real time and I don't have to worry about the input lag. But yeah, offline it's a little bit harder to do. It's a lot more risky, I would say. But yeah, I win the game, and going into the next game, wow, man, Phoenix Wright he's already in Super Saiyan mode, and this combo should be doing more damage. Wow, that last hit actually did a ton of damage. That's a retarded attack. Oh man, I should have push blocked that. I don't know why I didn't push block that at all. But I basically opened myself up for that high-low unblockable. And did he actually? I don't think he got Phoenix Wright out in time. Oh, okay, so he did. But now he's back in, and his gold mode is about to be gone. Yeah, he only has about a second or two more. So, yeah, I kept him in, and his gold mode's gone now. So he actually only got one character from his Super Saiyan mode. And I believe I'm going to DHC this, yeah. And that's actually going to hit. He came up with some weird button. I'm not sure what button that was, but Phoenix Wright was in the middle of doing something when I did that DHC. Oh man, I should have been able to combo into that, but I had Disruptor on my mind, and I just couldn't. I just didn't want to change my mind, and I was throwing out the Disruptor whether that Magnetic Blast hit or not. Trying to get in on Deadpool, but he's got this really annoying jump back projectile into Dante assist. And Dante assist is so good at zoning. Like, he basically cuts the screen in half, and if you're anywhere near the middle, you're gonna get hit and maybe potentially comboed into. I'm not sure if he has a setup where he can confirm off that with Deadpool, but it's really hard. It's really hard pursuing a character and trying to avoid the Dante assist as well. I don't know why I did that. The Shadow Blade. That Shadow Blade, I didn't really want to do that, but I had to hyper cancel that Shadow Blade to make it relatively safe. Otherwise, I just would have fallen into some really annoying cross under setup. And wow, he actually called his assist. That was really weird. He's gonna blow his X Factor with Phoenix Wright, and he doesn't have any. He doesn't have any. Well, I guess he only needs one more now. But anytime I can go into. Oh, yeah, the time's up. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, that the Dante, the damage that he took at the very end when his Deadpool was alive ended up being really huge, and he actually had X Factor running, and he only got up to half health, so he must have been really low, and that's probably why he ended up losing. But yeah, going into the next game, we got Spencer, and yeah, oh man, Spencer Hawkeye is really tough to do anything against him. I did get that raw launcher off. Raw launch, I think, is Chris's best tool for going against Spencer's ziplining spam. Oh yeah, don't trade a flame grenade against Chris. Ugh, I don't know. Yeah, see, I tried, you know, maybe throwing out a button, and for some reason that day, anytime I tried going in, anytime there was a stare off and I tried going into a button, I always lost. No matter how long I waited or how short I waited, I always lost to their button. It's kind of, you know, disheartening that, you know, my characters have such terrible moves, you know, when you're, you know, that close. He spent his entire reserve to kill Chris and Morgan, and I don't know if that was a good idea. I really strongly suggest against players doing that, mainly because if the other opposing character gets any momentum, it's just, I mean, that's how, you know, that's how characters, you know, one character kills an entire team. And I don't know, I'm not doing that well yet. I killed off his Virgil, but I'm running out of X Factor, and oh, this is gonna hurt. Oh wow, Spencer's gone, and wow, I'm actually in the lead because Hawkeye took so much damage. And I mean, see, now I have 4 bars, he only has 1, and all I really have to do is sit full screen and he has to eat all that chip. I'm surprised that it actually didn't kill, and I don't know if that was the right hyper. He probably should have went into another one, because I can just throw out a hyper, and yeah, and he can't really do anything. He's not a teleport character, so he can't teleport to the other side of the screen to avoid the chip. So yeah, that was a pretty nice chip out, I guess, there. And going against another zero against Chris, and I went against a lot of zeros this day, and I don't know how well I did against the zero teams. I want to say it was like 50-50, and I think that's pretty good, like, you know, having to go against zero, because he's a scary point character, especially against Chris, because zero comes at like such crazy angles that Chris can't possibly, you know, guard himself against. But he's gonna lose his zero to you know, I don't know how I got that grab. That grab was ridiculous. I don't know if I was trying to do it on purpose or what, but yeah. Oh man, trades with flame grenades. See, even the hard knockdowns can't win against that. It's more of a it's like a really fair trade. It's almost the same amount of hit stun. But yeah, he takes out Chris. And oh, I got Morgan. Am I gonna land this? Oh, wow, that was a really weird confirm, and that's actually not gonna hit. No, man. I had to delay that. Shadow Blade knocks the opponent really high, and if you cancel it early, they still go the height. The height doesn't change. And yeah, and I didn't let Morgan kind of settle into the knockback, so I level 3 canceled way too early on that. Kind of unfortunate, because his Dante was dead, and now the X Factor, he's gonna heal a little bit. Oh my god. Oh, really gotta be careful against Virgil level 3. X Factor Virgil with swords. So scary, but I was able to knock him out of that swords, and that was swords. I know for sure. So yeah, it always feels good, you know, knocking a Virgil out of his swords, because that's one bar gone that he can't he can't ever get back. Well, I mean, he can get it back, but he's not gonna be able to get the pressure from that swords. And is he gonna die? Yeah, he's gonna die. So he's down to just. Oh man, I always love being in this instance where you have two characters and X Factor, and the other person's just down to one character. It's not even their anchor character. And wow, don't ever do that. That is probably not the best way I could have handled that situation. I don't know why I picked that time to X Factor, but I was able to get kind of a lucky grab and just finished off his Dante with a OTG Shadow Server. Not really the best way of ending that game, but I don't know. I'll take the win, I guess. But yeah, that's gonna be the last game of this set, and we'll catch you guys next time when I do more online ranked games. But until then,